Funk Revolution now. Today we're reviewing Beach House. Beach House! She's a beach house. That's a song, right? Beach House. Beach House is like the quintessential dream pop band. When I think of the genre dream pop, Beach House is like what comes to mind. Like that is, they define dream pop. Obviously, there's plenty of classic 90s, like Cocktail Twins, dream pop bands that like really kind of define the genre. But thinking about like the past like 15 years or however long this band has been a band, this current generation of more modern dream pop, I think Beach House is absolutely the band because they've just released so many records. They're all fantastic to listen to. Like I would say like Teen Dream and Bloom are basically classics. That kind of makes me feel a little bit older because at one point they felt like not classics because they felt kind of like relatively new records, but now I'm getting a little older, it seems. So, okay, let's not have an existential crisis while reviewing Beach House. What were we saying? I'm losing it. I am disassociating with the universe. What are we doing? What are we doing? Bring it back, bring it back. Okay, yes, so this is an 80-minute record. They have been releasing kind of this record in like chunks, and I'm like, wow, this is gonna be a long-ass record of Beach House. So let's see if they still have the magic. Let's see what they're doing now. Like I said, it's always a pleasant listen. 80 minutes of Beach House, though. That's gonna be kind of nuts. I just reviewed the frickin' Big Thief record, which was 80 minutes as well. I guess this is a new trend in Pitchfork core. All right, enough analysis of that. Let's go ahead and just start by taking a look at the album cover. There's nothing to say about this album cover. It's pretty bland. I don't like the font. It doesn't really do anything super interesting. You know, we can think of some other Beach House album covers that definitely have some sort of vibe to it. Their music is very vibey. This album cover doesn't really have so much of a vibe. Maybe it kind of looks like maybe like a, I don't know, 70s country rock album cover. I don't know. I don't care about that album cover. Let's just move on to the music, which, by the way, reviewing an 80-minute Beach House record is not the easiest thing. It's like, how do I put my thoughts about this record into one kind of thing? Because it's not like Beach House has any particular crazy songwriting techniques I can come and run and tell you about. It's a vibe. It's a big old Beach House vibe. Their music is very much about just experiencing all the synths and the vocals and the dreamy, gentle production and just letting that kind of stir. I kind of feel like that's just the gist of dream pop, really, and I don't mean that as an insult to dream pop. It is just kind of a genre that if someone says, okay, this is a dream pop record, you go in and you kind of know what you're gonna get. The whispery vocals and the gentle kind of synthy backgrounds that maybe gets a little bit fuzzy and shoegazy. I know that shoegaze and dream pop are closely related. It's not always so easy to tell the difference. I would say shoegaze does get a little bit more fuzzy distortion in the music, while dream pop doesn't necessarily need to have any distortion. This record kind of, you know, is mostly dream pop, maybe dips its toes a little bit in the shoegazy area, dips its toes a little bit into the more psychedelic area. All these genres very closely overlap. We're talking about some just of the most gorgeous, the vocals are just like, it's so weird. Like, what effects are they putting on the vocals here? They're very whispery, but if you listen closely, you can tell these are all very layered. Sometimes, you know, Beach House is a duo. Sometimes two vocalists singing. Sometimes it'll be one vocalist just with like the vocals layered. So it's both simultaneously very delicate with the whispers, but because it's kind of like it has those layers, it has like more presence within the song mix, so you get those melodies kind of driving it, and then there's just so many synths layered on top of each other that you can get like maybe one synth that's just like sustaining, and then another synth that's like ding 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 ding. All these songs are just driven by a very simple drum machine with lots of reverb layered, you know, tan 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 tan, or tan 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 tan. It's kind of a funny thing because the drum machine is very technical and very, you know, like it's a computer. It's going to be playing on time constantly. Of course, you can throw a bunch of reverb on it, but there's always something very like mechanical. But then you also have all these very emotional synths and sometimes violins. I love when they bring in the acoustic guitar. I think the acoustic guitar texture just cuts through so lovely in this kind of hodgepodge of dream poppiness, and they really do have some fantastic songs. I think Superstar and Modern Love Stories are two standouts. I feel like those tracks are both a little bit on the longer side. Like Superstars is like 6 minutes long, and the reason why I think that's such a good song is because it does do a really good job of building. You can kind of just feel this song kind of gaining momentum and building and building and building. While it's creating a beautiful vibe, you can really tune in and focus and just feel like you can feel you can feel the emotion just pushing the song forward with all these different synths just layered on top of each other. Like I said, maybe they're doing some of this, maybe they're doing this. You know, they got like all these kind of like beautiful arpeggiations and rhythms, and it's a very beautiful thing. Like, this is just, I feel like out of everything I've heard from Beach House, this is simultaneously some of the most dense with all these synths and stuff layered, but also when I'm listening to it, just the way it's produced just makes it feel also some of like the most airy and gentle and beautiful. Like, it just feels like the color pink. I don't know why, but when I listen to this record, I feel like I'm floating within the color pink. So you can really tune in and listen to all the details, or you can just kind of lay in bed and relax and let the music fill the room and just let the vibe, just feel the vibe. And I mean, it's kind of a flex from Beach House. Like, how are you able to just release an 80-minute record this late in your career that is just consistently that beautiful vibe that we love Beach House for so much, with a lot of just, you know, it's like I said, 80 minutes long. There's a lot of samey songs here, but there's a decent amount of variation too. It really does take a lot of what we've heard from Beach House before and then just really cleans it up and polishes it and then stretches it out for 80 minutes long, which I think, you know, for a lot of Beach House fans, that's just gonna be really, really exciting. I do feel pretty conflicted about this record though, because I mean, I guess in a lot of ways, I'm listening to it, I'm enjoying it, I'm seeing and appreciating that this is a talented band. I just really do not see myself ever really returning to this record. It's an 80-minute long record. You know, it's kind of a commitment to sit down and listen to an 80-minute long record. And like I said, with the Big Thief 80-minute long record, I really was able to really appreciate and love that record and re-listen to it a lot despite its long runtime, because I felt like the songwriting was just so spectacular. And with this album, it's really so much about creating a vibe and creating an atmosphere. There are definitely some interesting moments throughout this album where there is, like I said, they bring in some cool textures, they have some cool build-ups, and they got beautiful melodies. I just don't feel like I feel like this album is really just kind of a flex about creating a vibe, creating an atmosphere, and doing a really good job producing a record, which is very cool, but like Dream Pop already has plenty of records like that, and so does Beach House. Like, Beach House has plenty of records like that are in a more digestible package with, frankly, singles that are just more, that just stand out more. Like, I don't feel like any songs here that, you know, that stand out to, like, compared to like Zebra or some of the hits from Bloom or whatever. It's just kind of more Beach House with fantastic production, lots of variation, a lot of attention to detail, it's a beautiful record. I guess it just kind of feels like this is an oversaturated album with this really long in a genre that already has a ton of like this vibe. It's impressive. I just don't really, I don't know, I don't care that much about this record. I don't care that much about it. Maybe it's my personal taste. Maybe it's just I've listened to so much Dream Pop that at this point, if you're gonna release Dream Pop, you gotta do something really smexy, and it can't just be a hodgepodge of vibes, which I kind of feel like this record is just a hodgepodge of vibes, which is awesome if, you know, if that's your thing. Like, I remember being in college and people were asking me for, you know, someone asked for a music recommendation and they didn't listen to any indie music. If you recommend Beach House, they're gonna be giving you a fist bump, because if they don't know Beach House and they listen to Beach House, they're gonna be like, oh, this is a vibe. I want to get into indie music because I'm looking for a vibe, and this is the vibe. But I don't know. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Giving it a 7 because like I said, I do acknowledge there's a lot of talent here. I do acknowledge that there's a lot of, it's a good vibe. You know, I wish I had a girlfriend. I would give this record a higher score if I had a girlfriend to lay in bed with me while this plays in the background. Because I feel that's what Dream Pop is really all about. And I feel like this record would be spectacular. What record wouldn't be good for that? You know, who doesn't like laying in bed with a girlfriend? I guess I just need a girlfriend. That has nothing to do with the review. I'm just making up excuses for not having a girlfriend. It's because I don't go out enough. Okay, well, rewind. Not gonna have a second existential crisis in one Beach House review, so let's get the heck out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is actually Beach House's best record and I'm overlooking it and just dismissing it as an overbloated, more of the same kind of record? Or do you feel like I'm kind of spot on? Or do you think it's actually just garbage and I'm being too nice to it? Let me know what you think in the comments. It's always a vibe though, so it's nice music. Maybe you can put this music on in the background of a party when you have a bunch of hot girls at your apartment, which I always do. So, like, comment, subscribe. That always helps my channel. Thanks so much for watching Punk Revolution.